We're bringing everybody in as we're going. It is our Monday Mastermind. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching this on a recording, great. But we do them live Mondays at noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, and all the other ones in between that I can't calculate because I don't have anybody here to copy on. But we wanted to thank you for coming in. Look, we're a big group of real estate agents who believe you can grow your business, grow your network, and grow your life. Here's what we're looking to do. We're from all different brokerages, all different parts of the United States. And actually, sometimes we can get some international people on here. And what we're looking to do is share secrets, tips, tricks, things like that, strategies that people are currently using in the marketplace to help you sell more homes so you can make more money and ultimately have more free time so you can enjoy your life better. We do have some things here I want to show you real quick, some resources for you. These are all free. Did I mention they were free? And what we've got is we've got an Instagram page. We'd love for you to jump on there and follow us. We've got 298 following right now. We have a Facebook page called Grow Global Mastermind Academy, where we post lots of different exciting announcements, but also what we're doing with these masterminds. We do have other things that come in there that are great, different people and resources you can connect with, awesome stuff that we put in there. We do record these, as I mentioned. In fact, we're recording this right now. And we post them on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell, make sure you're getting notifications that are on there, and you can check them out. We have 87 videos and counting, all of them from high-level top performers telling you the stuff that works for them and what they're currently doing. And of course, we have a web page. And what we do each week is we bring on a featured speaker, somebody that is an expert in their field or their niche where they're working. And today we have Jonathan Klunk. And Jonathan, he needs no introduction, but I'm going to make one anyways. Jonathan is actually, he's been an agent for 6 years. And according to Property Spark, he's the #1 agent on social in Louisville. Did I say it right, Jonathan? Did I say it right? Louisville, or is it Louisville? Which one is it?
If you're from the outside, Louisville.
All right, Louisville. There we go. And in Kentucky for 3 years in a row, he's the #65 agent on social in US. So he's grown his business purely by social and branding. And so that's a huge importance, being on social media, but being on it the right way. Because look, we're all super busy, and you'll hear from Jonathan today how busy he is. How do you make time and make sure you're being efficient when you're on there? So he's going to talk to you today about boosting your online presence. So get a notepad and paper. And here's the thing also I want to remind you is this is going to be interactive. After Jonathan speaks here for a little bit, we're going to give you a chance to ask questions. The #1 reason to get on these calls live is because you can ask the person your question. So here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you have a question, write it down, or you can type it in the chat and we'll have Jonathan address it as we go, or you can ask it at the end. But if you have a question in your mind, someone else has that question. Don't be shy. People always get quiet when we get to the question part. They don't want to ask any questions. We're going to fire some questions off at Jonathan. He's going to help you. How'd you like to be the #1 agent in your marketplace and in the top 10 of your state? He's going to show you how he did it in Kentucky, and he's just a 6-year agent. He's killing it. So with that, Jonathan, take it away.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I agree. Ask any and all questions that you have.
Oops, I muted you, Jonathan. Sorry about that. I muted you. My bad, my bad. Hang on, Jonathan. I muted you. You have to unmute.
There we go.
There we go.
No, I agree on the questions. Please ask away any that you have. The only bad question is the unasked question. So, yeah, social media. I'm going to try and make this as informative as possible. I'm not going to try and get too high level. I have things come across my desk all the time, people wanting you to join webinars or different things talking about social. So it's a very highly covered topic. And so very often it can be difficult to introduce new concepts or principles that maybe you haven't already heard or are not already using. And sometimes a lot of these things just bear repeating. It takes a lot of time of hearing things and doing things before they are memorized and become part of your daily, weekly, monthly practice. So I'd like to start with some of the basics. And the basics is, essentially your brand in the marketplace. Branding is so important, and it is inexplicably tied to social media. So if you stop and think about how many times you have the ability to brand yourself to a large audience of people, it's really not that many. If you're not on TV, if you're not on billboards in your city, how are you actually getting in front of people? And that is going to be with social media. For me, my primary methods are or platforms are Instagram and Facebook. Now, with Facebook, I do have my own Facebook page for real estate, but I have found more often than not that using my personal page is much better because I have developed and cultivated such a large following of friends over the years that in essence is my circle of influence. It's what keeps everybody apprised on what I'm doing. With Instagram, you have the ability to grow that beyond just your friend base and attract other people to it. So I encourage people think long and hard about your brand. Actually sit down, dissect that because you are your own business, your own company. What do your logos look like? What are your values? What are your colors? For consistency, what is your brand messaging? What are your niche markets? Who are your target clients or that avatar? All of these are going to help you make well-informed decisions about what type of content to put out that people want to consume. So, starting with that avatar, who are your clients and who do you want to attract? Very often, I see realtors or real estate agents putting up their new listing. They have all the same graphics, they have a picture of themselves on there, a few pictures of the property after that, or maybe even the property tour video that the person who was taking the pictures of your property put together for you. And they throw that up on Instagram or on social media. Well, I would challenge you to think about who is following you and why. If you're a real estate agent and you're not bringing a ton of value, either through the information that you provide or through my favorite, entertainment value, then likely the people who are following you may be people looking for houses that have found you on social and decided to follow you. But more often not, your friends, your family, and people who really want to support you in your business who are giving you all of those likes. So if you're wanting to expand your base from what you're doing today to actually attract a larger number of people in your local markets who operate nationally inside of your niche, like one of mine happens to be short-term rentals and really showcase that expertise, we're going to have to figure out what type of content is going to resonate with your audience and be interesting to them. Because the last thing that you want is to put up content that is actually going to turn people off as they try and refine their page and what they're looking for and they start unfollowing you. So that's something that we're going to touch on. And hopefully some of you have questions about that because I think that the material that we actually put out there is one of the most important elements of having success on social media. Another thing to keep in mind is this is a long game. It is never too late to get started on social media, but it is a long game. You will probably see or have advertised to you a lot of people promising kind of these get rich quick things. You post a single ad, you have a funnel, and people are dropping into that, and all you have to do is sell to them. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. While there is a lot of truth in that, and I've tried a few, honestly, unsuccessfully in the past, I've paid for those things for people to help me set those up. I have found that just being consistent with social media is the best form of branding and client attraction out there. You want to be humble, you want to be passionate and professional about what you're doing. You want to have that call to action and ask for the business, but more so be as entertaining as possible to your client base because realtors, believe it or not, can be entertaining on social media. And a lot of people like to see the success that we have because let's be honest, that's what we're doing a lot of the time is touting our successes. I just made a post because I became an icon agent with EXP my first year in last year. And so I'm thinking, what can I do that's interesting that might quote unquote stop the scroll when people are mindlessly scrolling through Instagram and they see something that grabs their attention and they stop and they look at that? Well, I had this beautiful icon trophy from EXP that they sent to me. So, of course, I have to schedule a photo shoot with the photographer I love using and get a picture of me licking it. And I've received so many comments and, just feedback from people who think that that is the funniest thing that they've seen. It's professional, but it's not serious. It really shows like the creativity, the fun, the playfulness that I like to inject into my business. So really thinking outside of the box on the type of content that you can put out there. And it doesn't always have to be real estate related. And to that point, when I first got started in real estate on social media, I thought that it had to be all about real estate. Real estate, real estate, real estate, whether it was education, whether it was new listings, whether, anything related to that. And as time goes on, trends and different things evolve on every single platform that's out there. We have short attention spans. We want to capture as much as we can. Whenever we do have time to get on social media, some people have a lot more time than others. And I've started to see a shift in that people want to engage with people that they connect with and see that personal side of them. And many agents I speak with, they don't want to do things like put their kids on their professional page, or maybe they have a professional page here and a personal page here. I combine it all together. Real estate is my life. And to that point, if I'm doing something that I want to share with other people, like my European travels, my animals, my family, whatever I did this weekend, if you can package that in an interesting way with good assets, good photography with good editing, good, did I say photography? Yeah, photography, video, high quality assets, absolutely show that off because that's going to show that the human, the personal side of you, not just the work realtor side of you. And that's what attracts people, brings them in. They feel like they know you before they even interact with you. And there is nothing like a warm lead. Am I right? I do not cold call. I do not knock on doors. I do not buy leads from anybody. All of my business comes from social media, from, being able to be a thought leader in the space through various forms of medium and content. But these people are reaching out to me and also referring their friends. It's almost impossible to be able to get an ROI on what you're doing on social media because once you become a brand, once you become recognizable, you start getting business from places that are almost impossible to track back from an ROI perspective to what you're doing on social media. So number one, know your client, create your brand, know that avatar, and really figure out using AI and other tools what is appropriate to market to them. Number two is to infuse your personal brand, your personal life into that so that you can bring people in because they feel like they're part of you, part of your family, really humanizes that element. Because let's be honest, a lot of us, our circle of influence or the people that we're going to work with, unless it's a referral to another agent, is going to come from our immediate market. So that's who we need to target right there and give them a reason to follow you as a real estate agent other than just posting new listings and things of that nature. But also still let them know that you're busy and that you're in real estate as much as possible, because you will get more questions when you go out about how is the market than anybody else when they really start to recognize you. Do we have any questions? Any questions in the chat?
I don't see them in the chat, but I've got one for you. So I love
Okay.
the idea, Jonathan, of combining your personal and your business. Do you have a certain ratio or percentage of how much personal versus business you post? The reason I ask that is I've seen agents sometimes where their page is like 90% business. I don't know. To me, that's a turnoff. I want to know more about them. Do you use a certain ratio or you just go by feel?
I go by feel, to be honest. A lot of people get really serious about their social media and they have these content buckets and calendars. And I post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on Monday is education, and on Tuesday is a new listing, and on, Friday is this. But there is an element of that you want to have to make sure that you're covering your bases, to make sure that you're disciplined. But at the same time, when you're busy in real estate, you don't always have time to do all of that, especially if you're doing it yourself and you don't have a team. So give yourself some space and grace and just roll with it. Make that list of everything that you want to incorporate, and at least every third or fourth post, do something that's about yourself. And, I would even argue that getting the EXP trophy is obviously about real estate. It's obviously touting, my personal success to let everybody know that they're working with a top agent, an award-winning agent. And I try to do so as humbly as possible. It doesn't always come through that way, but that is my intention. But at the same time, the fact that it's a professional photo shoot, the fact that I'm licking the trophy, that's still infusing your personality into that. And to me, that kind of bridges that gap between a personal post and a business post. So for me, I look at everything through a lens of how can I bring comedic value? How can I bring, some sort of interest where people are actually going to like it versus just scrolling or possibly unfollowing me because I'm throwing too much at them of what they don't want or what they are not interested in seeing.
Love that, Jonathan. So we got a question from Jose Donis. It says, before you do a new post or video, do you do trial asking for feedback? And if you do, where do you get your and where do you get your post ideas? Like if you're not creative to come up with it on your own, where do you get those ideas? So are you doing a trial run before you put them up, or are you just putting them up and see what happens?
I put them up and see what happens. Remember, you can always go back if you want your feed to be edited in a certain way, you can always go back and delete things or hide them. And trial and error is the best way to learn. Uh, that is an excellent point. Do not focus on perfection. Do not focus on making sure that everything is perfect and buttoned up before you get started or worrying about what somebody's going to think about a post. I used to post shirtless things, like literally things that I've had partners leave partnerships over. One of my former brokers, now granted, he was in his 60s and he was more commercial than anything else. He just didn't see why some of this, how is this related to real estate? And trust me, when Stephanie Gillison was recruiting me to EXP, first thing that I did in our lunch was pull up some of my more controversial posts. I mean, I've been known to do property listing videos, pantless, in the shower. I really get into it. So I made sure, let me show you all of these posts. Is this okay? Is this okay? And it was. So that's great. But no, trial and error. Absolutely. That is the only way to learn and to figure things out. So that's the first part of the answer. What was the second part of the question?
It was where do you get your post ideas? Like I know this is I'm glad Jose asked this question because I'm not creative at all. Where are you getting your ideas from?
Yeah, creativity is not something that's lost on me that it isn't a skill that's transferable, that's easily learned. I'm fortunate, I think, to, because brainstorming is one of my favorite pastimes. I always said if I wasn't in real estate, I would just want this interesting job where companies hire me and give me all of their ideas and just put me in a room with a whiteboard and just let me create pages and pages of ideas for them. Um, so, for example, on Saturday, I just shot a video. It's a new listing. It's a duplex. You can do Airbnb in one of those if it's an owner-occupied property. It's going at a premium. It's also in a registered historic district, so it qualifies for historic tax credits. Well, I brought my videographer along with me. Social can get expensive when you start doing it the right way with photo shoots and professional video and all of that. I created a script that was about a minute and a half long, and it really dug into why this is a perfect house hack opportunity. So I was talking about the area, talking about the historic tax credits where you get 30% back on any investment over $20,000, how you can do Airbnb if you live in this property, and the amount of money that AirDNA says that you would make versus how much the mortgage interest rate and monthly mortgage payment is expected to be. So you can live in this house for $277 per month plus utilities. But then you also benefit from depreciation on your taxes, appreciation of 6 to 7% annually in this area, and you have almost, little to no expense monthly for your housing and accommodations. I mean, that is fantastic for anybody who's getting started with their real estate empire and starting to build that. House hacking is how I got started, and it paid me back, in fortunes over the period of years that I owned that property. So you add that human element to it, and I'm talking exactly to the person who I think is my buyer and explaining to them exactly why they need to buy this property rather than just doing a tour of walking through the house. So to come up with those ideas, because I didn't have that until the morning of, I'd had the listing was live, I had the video scheduled, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do today that's different? And I started thinking of all of the benefits that the property had. And then I started to sell the benefits in a very easily communicated and digestible way, that is going to spark somebody's attention. And if not, if this isn't the right property for them, guess what? Now I have people who are interested in doing house hacks. I'm on their radar. Maybe they want to work with me because I've helped other people do this in the past. I too have done this in the past. Are you looking to do this? I would like to help you. Nobody is better qualified in the Louisville market than for me to help you discover the perfect house hack opportunity. You just got to really dig in and when in doubt, sell on the benefits of your property, of working with you, what sets you apart. Speak to their pain points. You will never speak more directly to somebody than if you ask them a question or say something that's been on their mind that they're concerned with, and you're answering that question. But to get just a little bit granular, AI, create a prompt. And this goes back to your branding. I did not have this pulled up, but let me pull this up. I'll read to you a little bit of mine. And I like to use Perplexity. A lot of people like ChatGPT. I use Perplexity. And I also use these same prompts. I create them for making pages on my website, for writing blog posts for my website. You use the same prompt every time, and it helps you to get very similar results.
I love,
So,
Jonathan, you said perplexity. I was at a Tom Ferry seminar, and he was said perplexity is where agents need to be because every other agent is using Chat GPT right now. So if you want to be different than every other agent, he goes, get on perplexity. So I love that. I love that you said that. Okay, great.
yes. So this is a prompt for writing a social post for me, like writing the content of it. Now, if you need help generating ideas, it's going to be very similar, but you're going to put in all of your brand credentials. What is your tone? What is your voice? What is your vibe? Who are you targeting? And you use that every time, and it can help create ideas for videos. It can help, and you can even, follow up with that. You like some of those, but not all of them. Say, hey, this is great, but still kind of boring. Can you get a little bit more creative in how you're doing it? And maybe one time in the future, we could just kind of do like a live session of generating ideas and coming up with ideas like on the spot. But my social prompt is create an engaging social media post for Jonathan Klunk, a top performing Louisville real estate agent suitable for Facebook and Instagram. The post should be 100 to 150 words, tone fun, positive, and upbeat with a dash of humor, style conversational as if chatting with an acquaintance, but not too conversational. Content informative and educational, but presenting in an entertaining way. Voice confident but humble, showcasing expertise without being condescending. Um, it goes on and on like that. Add attention grabbing opening lines or questions, a brief, valuable real estate tip or insight, a call to action, Jonathan's catchphrase, real estate waits for no one, as appropriate, a quick tip at the end, and then also provide a list of 20 high converting hashtag suggestions relative to the post's content. So it spits everything out.
Everybody who's freaking out right now, just know we recorded this. It's going to be on the YouTube. You can go back and pause that. And Jonathan, I don't think anybody's in your market, so I have a feeling your prompt is about ready to get entered 30 some, 40 some times into perplexity here later today when we
Here,
get off this. So that was
I'll
great.
drop it in the chat also.
Oh, look at Jonathan. A round of applause, everybody, for Jonathan dropping it in the chat. Well done, because for me to write that prompt, my old brain get done in 2026. So well done. While you're doing that, Jonathan, we did have a question that I'm going to go back just a teeny bit to. You mentioned having a videographer.
Yes.
And Laura has the question, how much per month do you spend on photographer or any social media helper or manager or other related social media costs? And how far were you into this before you went and got a pro? Did you get a pro like day one, or did you do it yourself at first and then bring in the pros? Thanks.
Let's see. I'm going to delete just something here because I'm 94 characters over. So know that it's been slightly edited.
That's all right. Now it technically won't be plagiarizing when we use this, Jonathan. We're not plagiarizing you because it's been altered by 94 characters. So we're
Oh, a
good to
few,
go.
no, like by 400 characters, but
All right, by
uh,
400. There we go. So the question was, first of all, in the beginning, did you start with pro videographer and stuff like that, or was that something as you got into it more? And then how much are you spending?
I
If
was
you if
spoiled.
you don't mind telling us.
I was spoiled. I have been a full-time real estate agent for 6 years, but before that, I did have my license, but I was also CEO of a short-term rental management company here in Louisville. We had 11 full-time employees, 15 cleaners. I'd sold two houses by the time the pandemic hit. March 15th, 2020, Airbnb VRBO took millions of dollars out of all of our bank accounts, flights ground to a halt. We had no idea what we were going to do. I furloughed every employee that I had except for my marketing guy. And he was just getting into video making. So I said, hey, everybody else, they're not going to work, but we are. And we're going to go figure out social media and real estate videos. And this was at a time when literally nobody was doing it yet. So I did have a little bit of a jump start by getting started early. Our first property video was 11 minutes long. It was really fun. I don't know how many people actually watched the whole thing. I mean, now you're lucky if you can get somebody to watch a minute and a half reel that you post. But I was in the hot tub with the property owner talking about everything that they loved about the house. I had different characters and I was showing off all of the different features within the property. So for about the first year, I had that employee working with me and I kept him busy. We did a lot from PowerPoint presentations because I was going to do webinars that we were marketing. He was running my social ads, all of that. So there has been an element of professional video and photography in there for me since the beginning. My husband is also great at editing. He went to college for that, for digital media broadcast. So he uses CapCut and he does my videos, he edits them in there, adds the text and all of that. So I've been very spoiled. I've never made my own video. Um,
Jonathan, how much you got to pay the hubby? Because I know my wife is gonna ask this, and I want to know how much to charge her when she puts me to work on this.
Well, there's cost benefit analysis that you can run in many different ways. So just pick up a few extra chores or something and bribe them. But I mean, I know that you could probably, just threaten to withhold, and that would be enough to get her to make all your videos, right?
No more begging for me. All right, good. I like that, man. This is my favorite. All right, we'll stay on track. Sorry about that. Go for it.
So I've always, had the benefit of having professional people working with me. And, some might consider that cheat a little bit. Obviously, it still helps you to get to your goals. Um, Whenever you find a videographer that you like working with, find some students, some cheaper people who might just use their iPhone and it might just take them, a couple hours to edit a few videos for you. There's a ton of online services too that if you just upload your content that you've made on your iPhone, they'll spit out an answer for you. I had an AI result or a company that I learned about one of the AI conversations that we were having at EXPCon down in Miami. But it's a video platform where you upload it and you can upload a 5-minute video if you want to, and it finds the most interesting clips for you. It adds music to it. It adds the text at the bottom, spits it out. All you have to do is upload it to social media. Maybe throw it in CapCut if you want to add your logos and all that, but you don't have to. So many tools are coming out, to both help with creativity and to both do all the editing for you on the back end. Another option is if you find that local person who isn't that expensive, maybe they're just getting started, quality, although you want to put out good quality videos, again, don't be perfect. Done is better than perfect. Set up a full day, grab 4 hours, 3 hours, write scripts, get down ideas beforehand, go and knock them out. Boom, boom, boom. Change your jacket, put your hair over to the other side so they all look different, and just shoot them back to back. They'll edit those, get them back to you in a day or two. go in and just schedule them one to come out every week so that you can still fill in your weeks in between that. I mean, that's going to be a couple $100, 3 hours of your time. Somebody else is doing the work. For my photo shoots, $250 to $350 are often kind of lifestyle photo shoots. Again, go with ideas, get some inspiration from Pinterest, other places, just about headshot ideas, creative ideas. Take all your different wardrobes, take props, take anything you want. You know, if you smile in all your pictures, don't waste time on the ones where you're trying to look more serious. You'll realize later on you have this whole database of pictures of you and only a handful that are usable because you only like smiling in your pictures. But you get into the moment and you start trying to be a model and pose and do all these things. And you're like, not going to use those. So use that time wisely. They're going to give you all those photos back. You can get at least 15 different sets. You know, put on a fur jacket, take it off, black shirt, white shirt, suit coat, tie, take off the tie. It'll look like you spent so much time getting your photo shoot done, putting all this together, and yet it was done in an hour and a half and for $350.
Whoops, I was muted. Sorry about that, Jonathan. So we got a question here from Jing Zhang. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Correct me if I didn't. We have some questions here. He has some questions. He says, do you use a VA, a virtual assistant, to post it, or do you do posting yourself? And then do you use some tech tools to post it, like upload the post to one platform and schedule posts in some specific time to all social media platforms? Interesting.
Yes, I use a service called Later, Later, just like it sounds. I think it's $55 a month. You can add, I believe, your Google business page on there. You can put LinkedIn, you can put TikTok, you can put Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. You connect it, and then you can customize all of your posts. So say you want the same video, but you want your text to say different things. You can upload it at different times, different days for each of those platforms. You know, Instagram is going to go to your link in bio. Facebook is going to go, look at the link in the comments. And so with Instagram, it'll let you collaborate with people. It'll let you tag people, add your location. As the first comment, you can add all of those hashtags. So I have it post with the first comment already on there, which is my hashtags. On Facebook, you can throw links in there, do all kinds of things. Also, your link in bio, you can edit that for Instagram on there. $55 a month, highly recommend it. You can go months in advance. Like, let's say you have your Christmas post already. You can go drop it in there for Christmas because I had an idea this year and I don't want to miss it next year. So I'm going to make it and go ahead and drop it in there. Fantastic use of resources and time.
A round of
And no,
applause,
not
everybody,
to
for
be able-
Jonathan, please, for that tip right there. Just saved. Everybody says, I don't have time to post on social media. Well, guess what? You can get it done in the middle of the night when you're not working and set it up for later. It's called Later, Later. That's it.
Later, yes.
Beautiful. Awesome.
And speaking of not having time, one thing that a lot of people don't even think about doing is recycling content. If you posted something 6 months ago, unless it got a million views and people were dying over it because it was so funny, they're not going to remember it. So don't be afraid to recycle your content. Sometimes I go back to videos that I made years ago and I said, oh, this is one of my favorite videos, and just post it like that, like it's brand new content. A lot of people don't even read what you write because we're a scrolling society. Unless I see something that makes me like, what the hell? And I need to go down and read it. I'm just scrolling and liking, scrolling and liking. And that's another reason we need to stop the scroll with something crazy. One of the best videos that I saw was somebody took a clip completely unrelated to real estate, an elephant falling over, somebody falling off a roof or something. And like the minute that person hit the ground, that was them on the ground. And they sat up and then they started talking to the camera. So it leads with a video that somebody wants to watch because something stupid's about to happen. And then something stupid did happen. It was the real estate agent who became part of that video and got your attention, had you as an audience, and told you whatever they wanted to tell you. And you remembered it. Because I'm talking about it right now.
I love that. I love that. Jonathan, people tend to get lost on social media. I don't know about you, but I get distracted by cat videos and everything else like that. But how much time would you recommend an agent be spending on their social media?
Like working in the social media?
Yeah, working on it. Yeah.
Well, it depends on what direction you're going to go. If you're heavily pictures and you go do that photo shoot, maybe do one a quarter, one every 6 months, that's going to give you a lot of content that you can play with. If you have a lot of properties coming on the market, and so you're very heavy on the listing side, then you can go make some videos at those properties. Um, Also, if you don't have them, you might reach out to other agents, especially if you're looking to get into the luxury space and you're not there now. Who has luxury listings in your area? And would you mind if I help you out with your marketing by going and making a video and trying to help find you a buyer? Then you go get your video guy or take your iPhone, whatever you want to do. They make tons of little pieces of equipment for like $150 or less that you could put your phone on there. You can walk around with it in front of you. It balances it, it stabilizes it, makes everything look good. Then you just have to understand position, background, and lighting. But people like those videos that are just, natural. You're just talking to them. Some of mine might be too overproduced, to be honest, for some people's taste. Others, if you're just talking to the camera, say, "Hey, got a great house to show you. You like it? You have $1 million? No? You want to see what $1 million looks like? Let's go look." Just start off like that. And again, that's the trial and error. And do not be afraid. As long as you are authentic, as long as you are 100% yourself and engaging with the audience that you want, don't be afraid about turning off other people. You're attracting the people who want to work with you. And you don't do that by being fake and trying to appeal to everybody. You do it by being yourself, being intentional, and targeting the people that you want to work with and who want to work with you.
I love it. Find your make your vibe and find your tribe. I love that. I love that. So
Yeah, my
Jose,
pamphlet videos, people are asking me that all the time. Aren't you afraid of losing business? Like, no, I want people who want to see me pantsless.
right? I mean, yeah,
I
let's
get
do it.
along with.
I'm gonna jump over to your page right now and check it out. But Jose
Don't spend
Donis
too
has a
much time on
question
it.
for you.
Yes.
Um, hey, 30,000 followers on Instagram doesn't lie, so you're doing it right. Jose Donis has a question. It's a techie question a little bit, I think. Based on my last meta insights, the time when more people are viewing my channels is around 7 to 8 p.m. Do you notice the same? Are you monitoring what time's the best time to post and things like that? What's your insights on that?
Mine is 6:15 a.m.
6:15 a.m. you're putting out your content.
Yes, that is, and that's the good thing about later. I wish I had an affiliate link because I feel like a lot of people are going to go out there and check it out. It tells you your best times to post as well. So for every single platform, and that's based on how many people are seeing it, how many likes, comments, follows that you're getting from that. It takes all of that and it tells you your best time to post. So I definitely utilize every resource that I can, but I don't spend too much time trying to figure out how to hack it and optimize it because again, getting it out there is better than not doing anything. So don't get too lost in the weeds unless you have plenty of time to spend or you have somebody that you can hire to kind of go and do some of that research for you. Getting it out there is like step number one and better than not doing it. And especially if you're crushing it in real estate or soon will be because of increasing the social presence, then you're not going to just plainly have time to do that.
Jonathan, do you want any of these people to follow you? You want to plug down in your chat your
Oh,
URLs if you want people to follow you, stuff like that. So I have a question while you're doing that. And by the way, great questions, Jose Donis. Great questions, Laura. Great questions. Keep them coming. Keep firing them in that chat, or you can raise your little hand in the reactions down there, and we'll call on you. You can unmute and ask. Jonathan has 30,000 followers on Instagram. Number one social media influencer for real estate in Louisville, Kentucky, and number 6 in the state of Kentucky. So he knows what he's doing. There we go. There's his ooh, I love the call sign there for Insta. Top dot Louisville dot Realtor. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll make sure we put this down in the description on that. So I have a question for you, Jonathan, is who's a good influencer or coach that people could follow and learn from? Do you have a coaching product or no? You don't have a coaching product for people?
No, I don't right now. I am coming out with one for agents
Okay,
about
perfect.
using social media and to create funnels of people who are essentially just booking time on your calendar.
We'll have
Um,
you come back and do it when you have when we have the product too on that. But who's somebody
that'd be
right now
great.
that they could follow out there? Like I follow a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. Some people don't like it because he drops too many F bombs, but I like his approach to it. Who do you follow, or who would you recommend people follow?
That is such a good question. And let me tell you, first of all, I'm really bad with names. Um, Anybody. I mean, that's probably my one hindrance in real estate. I can't remember addresses or names, and I get my numbers turned around. So I have to keep lots of notes. Second fun fact about me is I have not been able to get on Instagram or Facebook from my phone in about 2 years now. So I can only get on when I'm at my computer, when I'm sitting here. So my time on social media has shriveled up over the past 2 years. I'm like wishing everybody happy birthday, checking my messages, see who's reached out to me, replying to my comments. But I don't have as much inspiration from other people anymore. I wish I had a better answer to that question. There are definitely a lot of great real estate agents out there. I would start with Property Spark, where they have me listed as the number two agent on social media in the United States. Go there and start going down the list, and that'll help you figure out why they've labeled each one of those people from 1 to 100 in the United States. Definitely has to be a lot of good content in there.
We're speaking with Jonathan Klunk from the Louisville market, number one Louisville agent for social media. He knows what he's doing. He's got 30,000 Instagram followers out there crushing it. So go ahead and pop your questions down in the chat. I know one question that's on everybody's mind, Jonathan, is if we come down to do the Bourbon Trail, can we crash at your and your husband's place there? If we need a spot, if we drink too much bourbon, what's the answer on that?
Of course.
I love it.
And I say that because I mean, what is like a 1% chance of that happening? So
Well, you
yes,
don't know how
absolutely.
much bourbon
Anytime.
Stacy and I drink. We'll be down there to visit you after
Well,
we're
you might
doing
need a hotel room then because, I might record you and put you on my social.
that. Perfect. I love it. Question. Rob Campbell unmuted. Rob, you have a question. Go
I
for it.
do, yes. So let's say you're advising a brand new agent that has no social media presence or anything. What are the top 10 things a brand new person should do to ramp this up with their starting from scratch?
Well, number one is going to be to figure out your brand. I mean, no time like the first day in the market to figure out your brand. Who are your friends, your circle of influence, the people that you're going to appeal to? Feel free to sit those people down and ask them, hey, like, what would you be looking for real estate on social media? Um, it's not bad to start with education whenever you're just getting started in real estate. A lot of times, that's how you learn is through teaching. So go find out about some different topics, learn about it so that you can then turn around and teach it. Now, keep in mind, I don't think the real estate education goes very far on social media, but you're just getting your legs. You're not going to be successful from day one, but you have to be comfortable in front of the camera. You have to be comfortable posting and figure out the ins and outs. So don't be afraid of failure during that time, but also try and steer away from like, what is escrow? What is a down payment? I see that so much. And I'm like, I know not everybody knows this, but I mean, how many people are following this? Like legit following. And then just be stupid. I mean, that's really the best advice that I have is just think of like the stupidest things that you can do and do it. And that's literally good. As long as you're professional, as long as you are still representing real estate well, I really think that that's your best chance of success on social media is just pulling out all the stops, taking the stick out of your butt, sorry, and just loosening up for the camera and for your audience and just have conversations with them. Enjoy the back and forth.
I love what you said earlier. Be entertaining. People want to be entertained when they get on social media. So you're right. That just dry, boring part. Yeah, who wants to watch that? Stop the scroll. I've got that written down right now on that. Question on here. Jamie Parker from Atlanta. He says he's gotten business off of Facebook, but not Instagram. Any tips for that? And he says he has 1,350 followers on Instagram. So what are some tips for getting business off Instagram?
Well, keep in mind that with any platform that you're on, it is not about the number of followers that you have. It is about their level of engagement, how much they like you, how closely they're following. I mean, with 30,000 followers on Instagram, somebody with 1,200 completely loyal, dedicated followers could maybe do more business than me just with that small amount. So don't be hung up on the number of followers that you have. But keep in mind, you're in, would you say Atlanta?
Jamie is in Atlanta. Yep, Jamie
Atlanta?
Parker, Atlanta.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. Sorry, I had some There we go. We're
Oh,
unmuted now. Yeah,
that's good.
I'm in the Atlanta market, and I get a lot from the interaction perspective. I get significantly more interaction on Facebook than I do. I mean, I'm lucky if I get 8 or 10 likes or even one comment or two comments on a post. Now, a lot of my posts go Facebook and Instagram because you can do both, at the same time. But I'm just curious how to increase. My teenagers get more interaction on Instagram than I do, and that's because it's all their friends. They'll put a stupid picture of themselves, and they'll get 100 likes and comments, and of what they're doing. So I'm just
They're being
curious.
entertaining. They post
Yes,
a stupid picture. They're being entertaining. Is that
For
right,
sure.
Jonathan?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And that isn't uncommon. I mean, think about it. You spent years cultivating your Facebook friends and developing relationships with them and wishing them happy birthday. And that's the first thing that you should do. If anybody is not doing this, go in Facebook every single day and wish every single person a happy birthday when it says that, because that will increase your engagement with them.
Mhm.
Secondly, in Instagram, make sure that you're liking and commenting on other people's things that you follow because they're going to like that. They're going to respond to that. That's going to increase your engagement. So the algorithm is already going to tell Instagram, hey, these people kind of know each other. They've been interacting. So let's put their content a little bit higher up so that they can engage with that. Send a message to everybody who's out there. Hey, just looking, for your input or your advice. I appreciate you following me. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for that I can do or services that I can provide here on Instagram? That would be kind of fulfill the useful content portion. And then,
Mhm.
maybe find ways to make it entertaining after that. But if you just send that out to everybody unapologetically, and they may actually give you good feedback. And if not, it's going to increase that engagement, that back and forth where you can be seen. Instagram can be a hard nut to hack. TikTok has a much better algorithm for making people go viral. But a lot of times we have national audiences. You use these hashtags and people search for hashtags. They find you, they start following you. I have a ton of realtors that follow me. That's not going to bring me a lot of immediate business for listing or for buyers. Maybe referral business down the line. Maybe, if I launch a course, then I might have an audience that's out there. But a lot of my audience is never going to buy from me. A lot of it's international. I have a lot of Indian people who like me for some reason, for some of my videos. So it's really hard to do your targeted advertising because whenever I've done the lookalikes before, it's like doing a lot of ads in India, and in other foreign countries. So it again, it's a long game. It's learning what works and it's finding your niche, your audience, and being stupid and realizing it's going to take a little bit of time, but when you find your good content, always promote it. Facebook or Instagram. Make sure that you have the business page or that you are, kind of an influencer or creator, and that's going to allow you to boost those posts and, pay for them. Even if it's $25, $50 for a week, put that out there. I do get a lot of engagement from things like that when you have really good content. I pay for a lot of it.
That's great. Jonathan Plummer said to stay away from vanity metrics. He was talking about that. He put that right underneath of Jamie's post. Jose Donis, you get the gold star for today for the best questions here. We got another question from Jose. It says, do you recommend promoting your posts? In my other business, which is not real estate, I only do it when the post gets a certain number of likes in the first hour and it seems to work. So this is actually playing off of what you were just saying, Jonathan. What's your thoughts on that strategy?
I promote every single one of them. Every one of them. Keep in mind, attention equals money. Realtors are marketers first if you're growing a big business. You are a marketing machine, a marketing engine. You want your face to be everywhere, all over your city as much as possible. The first time that you walk out of your house, you go somewhere and somebody recognizes you and you have no idea who they are, you will know that you are doing the right thing. And trust me, it will happen. I've been recognized at the airport. Um, like, hey, you're that real estate guy, right? Like whenever you go out to dinner. I mean, it happens. I boost every single post that I do. If it's about housing, you have to choose that housing specific feature. If it's not about housing, if it's about investing, if it's about, agent attraction, if it's about anything else, you can have a much larger audience, men, women, go in and specify all of those things. I boost every single post. And that also goes back to not being able to track the ROI. I have no idea how much money it's costing me per lead with what I'm doing. But this is such a long-term, impenetrable marketing game that I am playing that nobody can ever take away from me unless I get hacked or, Instagram just decides to take me down erroneously for some reason, as I've heard horror stories of. That's the only thing that's going to stop me here. And if that happens, I'll just start over again. But yes, this is a long game. Be patient, but know that it will bring you success for years and years to come when you just stay consistent, do it right, be stupid, and use these AI tools to figure out how to get in front of your niche audience and know your brand, because you have to be brand on 100% of the time and be unapologetic.
I love it, Jonathan. Have you ever studied under Tom Ferry?
No.
No, the reason I ask is he talked about I was this conference I was just at, talked about breaking Sheehan's wall, which is exactly what you're talking about, which is how do I become recognizable in my marketplace? When I walk in the grocery store, people know who I am. They call that, I guess the theory is called Sheehan's wall, breaking that, getting through that point. So I love
Tom,
what you're
spell that
saying.
for me.
There you go. Sheehan's wall. Anthony Robinson says, oh, Tracy Boss Moves Wiggins says attention equals money. Anthony Robinson says, I also wanted to ask him if he creates the content based on his audience. Like, are you targeting buyers, sellers, or agents? Are you focusing that much when you find your target audience? What are you doing with that?
No, not at all. And I think that goes back to brand, that your brand can cover a large number of things as long as you have the same look, the same feel, the same identity, the same, maybe catchphrases that you use all the time. That's your brand. But I work with all kinds of buyers and sellers. I love luxury. I love first-time home buyers. I love, working in the multifamily space. I dabble a little bit in commercial. And you want to show people the wide array of things that you can do, because a lot of times luxury agents struggle because they're luxury, luxury, luxury. And so that person who's selling a $350,000 or $600,000 house, who might not feel that like that's a luxury, might not reach out to you because, they're afraid of being turned away. We don't always ask the questions that we want because we're afraid of, people saying, no, I'm sorry, I don't do that. I don't work in that space, but let me see if I can help you. That's a form of rejection that people are afraid of. So don't be afraid to show a wide array of things that you do and bring value to the table for multiple people, because that's going to bring multiple types of buyers and sellers to you. Just try and find that brand consistency within it so that people are still getting the same thing every single time, whether it's a photo, a video, education, property tour. We just make it fun and exciting. Well, we're giving you all kinds of content.
I love it. Jonathan Plummer says the best known beats the best. I love that. I know we're going to get asked this question. I know it's on someone's mind and they're afraid to ask it, so I'll ask it for them. When you said you're boosting the post, so on Facebook, you're going to that little button that says boost post underneath it and you're hitting that. If you don't mind telling us, how much are you spending on that? Because I think the minimum is what, $10 or something like that?
I mean, I think it's a little bit different each time. If not, I just don't remember it. But I mean, I think there's a certain amount of spend that you can do. So even if you're doing like $1 or $2 per day, but you do it for 30 days, that's going to meet their minimum. It really just depends on what it is and how comfortable I am with it. So if if I'm doing an audience that it suggests for me, then I might spend a little bit less. If it's for an open house this weekend or something like that, then obviously I'm only going to do it for 2 days and maybe 10, 15, $20 a day. If it's kind of some evergreen thing, something that I want people to see, like I'm going to be in a dance competition for charity coming up in June. I'm taking professional dance lessons every week for 15 weeks. I'm
You're going to be
raising
on
money.
Dancing with the Stars. I can't wait to see you on there,
It
John.
is
That's going to
Dancing
be
with the
awesome.
Stars. I'm
I
doing the
love it.
cha-cha. My shoes just came in over the weekend. Um,
I love it.
So I made a post about that. And that is something that you can share with the entire community. So I'm running that thing for 30 days. I actually was able to choose my market. So I went in and I chose, certain things that I wanted, women who like Bravo TV, people who like Dancing with the Stars, people who like this. And so each time you do a post, you can get out in front of different people. And, people have to see you like 6 or 7 times to really remember that. So just keep pushing that content out there. I mean, that might become a big part of your marketing budget, but trust me, it is all going to pay off if you're putting thought, energy, and effort into it. And following everything else that we were talking about regarding brand and authenticity and just stopping the scroll, being interesting, being stupid in your own way, however that is, you will find your target market that resonates with you.
I love it. Svetlana had a question. I passed by. I didn't notice that. So I'm going to circle back to this real quick. She asks, do you do Facebook and IG ads outside of promoting? So are you running those other types of ads where it's kind of like a funnel type ad?
I've done a lot of things in the past with mixed results. Whenever you run ads, that's still a little bit like a cold lead, and I don't do well with cold leads. I too am still afraid of rejection, and I'm also spoiled by having so many warm leads that are inbound and referrals now after, the 4 or 5 year mark. I'm now starting to sell houses that I sold 5 years ago, like one I have under contract right now. That's a new experience for me. So I have a lot that comes in organically that has been from this long game. I'm terrible with leads. If you are good at leads, absolutely run that. I call people once or twice. If they don't call me back, if they put in a bad number or something, I'm like, okay, oh well, and move on. But I can't have that consistent cold lead follow-up program because it takes me away from so much more than I'm doing. But my motto always is that I won't run an ad for something that I won't post on my own Facebook or Instagram page. So I don't run ads specifically targeted to certain people for a certain reason. I just have a very different mindset on that, but I don't discourage it because I know that it works for a lot of people if you find the right messaging, the right audience, the right spend, the right creative, all of that. Then you have it go to a landing page, have it go into a funnel, have it go into a drip. For me, that sounds overwhelming just to like think about starting to set up right now. So I don't discourage it, but I don't have personal success with it, and I have tried it in the past.
Love it. Nothing better
I've
than
hired
doing
companies to
business
do
with
it
a
for me
friend.
too.
What? Say that again. I talked over you.
I've hired companies to do all of that design for me and to manage the spend and all of that, and I still haven't had the results that I expected.
Jonathan, are you using the many chat feature inside your IG where somebody says in this thing, hey, type the word amazing into it and you'll go and I'll send you a DM with a special little widget that they offer you? Doing any of that?
I have tried that before, and for me and my audience, nobody really did it. And that kind of goes back to the fact that, people don't read a lot of what you put on there. That's why you have to stop the scroll with your images, with your video, like running up to the camera. That was something that we did a couple years ago to get them to stop. It's like, oh my God, stop. What are you doing? Oh, hey, I want to show you this house here. Yeah. You have to stop that scroll because people aren't just going to see it and read what you've got going on down there. But I would always write that in the bottom. I did it for a couple months. Didn't really have a lot of conversion on that, the same way I do just like DMs and comments and things like that. So I, love it. Keep up the good work. It's just like a lot of encouragement from friends and people like that. But definitely track the saves and the shares that you get, and then find out what content people are saving and sharing, especially on Instagram. And a lot of times you get those insights after you've boosted it. So if somebody is sharing something, remember that. Why are they sharing this? I need to do more like this because it's the saves, the shares, more so than the likes that are going to rank you organically above other people. But paid content is where it is. Do your giveaways, talk about charities that you're giving to and why, and just make it really interesting for people, and you'll slowly start to attract the good people. And you need a small number. Don't get hung up on the number of followers that you have. That's an ego thing. That isn't a business conversion tool.
Love it. Love it. We've got time for one more question with Jonathan while somebody's coming up with a good one to end us on, because these have all been great. I want to remind everybody we do these every Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Do we know our speaker for next Monday? If we do, if somebody wants to update me on that, we'll know who that is. We've got an Instagram page. We've got a Facebook page. We've got a website. If you scroll up the chat all the way to the top, you can sign up for all those. I recommend signing up because today's content has been a game changer. A round of applause, everybody, for Jonathan before we find out what we're doing on Monday. Well done, Jonathan. Well done on that. And we just put it back in the chat. John Herhold, do you want to tell us what we're doing next Monday? We'll come up with our last question for Jonathan here.
If memory serves me correct, next Monday is open topic. Bring your burning question.
Yep.
Wow, that's going to be a good one. Great Q&A. We'll have a panel of people there to ask your questions. Bring those on that. And with that, we're close to the end. Anybody got a last question for Jonathan? Your thoughts on LinkedIn? We're going to end with this one. Jonathan, your thoughts on LinkedIn?
That is one of the most talked about social platforms right now for growing your real estate business. I post there a lot. I can't say that I've had a ton of success, but only because I haven't put in the work necessary for that. That's going to be, a different audience, a different type of communication. So still be authentic, still be yourself, still be stupid. But who are you targeting? A lot of executives on there, a lot of people who are going to be relocating for different jobs, for different opportunities. Be sure to follow the people that you want to be your clients. Comment on everything that they do. Social isn't just about take. It's about give. Give back to them. Show them that you care. Let them recognize your face, not from your posts, but from engaging with them on content. I mean, if you spend a couple hours a week doing that, if you have that kind of time in your business, you will really start to create those deeper bonds through social rather than just being a stranger to everybody and having that organic growth then create that brand for you. But promote everything. LinkedIn advertising is a little bit more expensive, so really have a message or a good trusted funnel if you're going to spend money on that, because it's a lot more expensive than other options.
Well, Jonathan, thank you so much. The accolades are coming in, Jonathan. The gratitude from people. Kimberly Johnson, thank you, Jonathan. Marla, thanks for today, Jonathan. Anthony Robson, this has been amazing, Jonathan. Everybody, Jose Donis, Melvin Burrell, Kim Manson, all saying thank you. And I want to thank you. Great job today. That was awesome. And I'm definitely going back to listen in on your prompt and take it out here. By the way, guys, you can download the chat if you want to. You can download that to your computer. For those of you who don't know how to do that, you can do it. We also have the AI companion. We'll attach that to our transcript that we'll attach to our YouTube video. This thing was recorded. And as you saw today, being here live is the way to do it. So be here next Monday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Bring your questions, and we're going to have some champions there to ask your questions on that. And if you're ever down the Bourbon Trail, Jonathan says you're welcome to stay with him and his husband there. We're doing that. We're going to take you up on that. Stacy and I will skip trace, stalk you down and find you there in Louisville. So thanks, everybody.